How many of you had earlier heard about Gurvayoor? How many of you are hearing about it for the first time and are coming here for the first time? Oh, quite a few. That explains why North Indians are different from South Indians. Yeah. In Gurvayoor, you'll be surprised to know the deity of Gurvayoor Appan has been worshipped by Lord Shiva, worshipped by Brahma, worshipped in Dwaraka by Rukmini. This is a history. That deity came floating after Dwaraka went under the sea. And then that deity was handed over by Brahma to Guru and Vayu. Guru of the Devas is Brihaspati and Vayu is wind god, Vayu. So it was handed to both of them and they were asked, find a suitable place for the Lord and he should be installed. So Guru and Vayu traveled all over looking for a nice place and they came to this place. When they came to this place, this was the place where it was a huge forest. Normally, Kerala is known for its mountains, rivers, greenery and beautiful scenery and everything. You will see it's called Malay Nadu. Malay means hill, Nadu means country. Malay Nadu, country of hills. And ravines and valleys and nice vegetation and beautiful things to eat and everything. Rich. Because the history of Kerala is Kerala created by Parasuram, who threw his arasa, his chopper, into the sea and the sea receded and the land came up. So that's why it's called God's own country in tourism. In tourism they say it's God's own country, he created it. Parasuram created it. And that's how the history, that's a different history. So here, they came here and they found it's a very beautiful place and it's a huge, nice, beautiful lake. And when they came there, they started meditating and from the waters rose Lord Shiva. And that is a pond you will see behind the temple. Behind the main temple is that pond, which is now shrunk in size. So in that pond, Lord Shiva rose because he saw the Lord in his deity form, paid his respects, and then Brihaspati and Vayu, they told him that we have been entrusted and tasked with the responsibility of finding a good place. So don't worry, you are in the best place because I already did the selection. I am meditating here already on the same Lord and he has appeared. And I am so happy and I'll be happy to give this place for the Lord and I move backside. And he went in the back. That's the place, Mamyur. We are right here. ISKCON's property is between Gurvayoor Appan's temple and Lord Shiva's place. It's right, if you walk up this road here, is Lord Shiva's temple. It's called Mamyur Shiva Kshetra, that area. And if you walk this side, it's Gurvayoor temple. ISKCON's place is situated here, just 5 minutes walk from the back side of the temple. If you walk, you can go just 5 minutes. I know that's going to become closer because they have won a court case. The Devaswam board has won a court case and is eliminating all these shops for all illegal occupants from many years together. So the compound wall of the temple will come closer to us. And we can maybe walk within a few minutes, not 5 minutes or 6 minutes. That's on the side. So in this way, Lord Shiva, he offered this place. Therefore, if you come to this place, you must visit Shiva's temple to make your worship complete. The tradition there is, if you go inside the temple also, there's a place for you to pray to Lord Shiva for gratefully having given this place to the Lord for him to be installed and worshipped. But you can actually go to the temple, to Lord Shiva's temple. So it's a very beautiful temple. That's the history. That's how the Lord came to be placed here. And over a long period of time, many great kings have patronized the Lord, but over a period of time it went out into oblivion. Not many people looking at it, and then again rose, and then finally the Zamorin of Calicut, the king of Calicut. Have you heard of this place called Calicut? Kozhikode. there's an airport there. A lot of Gulf devotees come from there. So that he is the one who was holding the temple for long. Then he handed it over, and worship management was done by. Now it's done by Gurvayoor Devaswam board. It's a board who's been doing it, and that's another different story. How they do it, by what they do, and how they are all communists, and all of them are interested in the Hundi, etc., etc. We'll not go into that. So that is the brief Sthala Purana, or the history of the place and how the Lord came here. Now this deity, number 2 portion of it is, this deity is also the deity that Vasudeva and Devaki worshipped in order to get Krishna as a son. It's also the deity that Kashyapa and Aditi worshipped in order to get Vamana as a son. It's also the same deity that is worshipped by Prishni and Sutapa in order to get Prishni Garbha as his son. They were all the Lord's incarnations. Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan himself. He came as Vasudeva and Devaki. But all these 3 were the desire of Devaki and Vasudeva. 3 times they asked, he must come as a son, he must come as a son. So he said, Tatastu, so be it. 3 times I'll come. And 3 times he came. One as Vamana, one as Prishni Garbha, and one as Krishna himself, when they were Vasudeva and Devaki. It's the same couple who were Prishni and Sutapa, Kashyapa and Aditi. This way he came for all of their 3 generation of living. He came as their son because that's what they asked for. That's what they asked for. That's why when you hear a description of the Lord in Mathura appearing in the jail of Krishna, he comes in 400 form. He came as Narayana. So here they'll tell you, whatever they worshipped, he appeared in that form to them. It is the same deity who came in Mathura and in 400 form, Shankha Chakra Gada Padma, stood in front of Vasudeva and Devaki, and they glorified him. And Vasudeva did offerings of thousands of elephants with golden horns and moved like this and dressed like that. Then he offered this, he offered that, everything. Mentally he did an offering, he did to this deity. Because the deity appeared to him, gave him full darshan. He was such a wonderful, great devotee. Both of them were great devotees. Then he started his Vrindavan Leela. This became 200 form. So take me to Vrindavan. Because your desire is fulfilled, you wanted me as your son, I'm your son, and right now you're the one who said that Kamsa will come and see you like this in a grand form. You look so great in 400 form and all that. She became very worried. And so he assumed that form, and then he left to Vrindavan. Vasudeva took him to Vrindavan. That's what you see. So that deity, that personality was seen as Gurvayoor. So you will see 400 form will not. If you go in the early morning to Nirmalya Darshan, which most people are not able to do because it's at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning is the first darshan, by the way. And a lot of people do that because it's a darshan of the 33 crores of demigods. They take darshan in the morning. It is their darshan. Nirmalya, mala, no mala, nothing, you will see the deity fully. The stone deity you will actually see. And they'll keep doing the abhishekam. They'll apply oil, til oil. क्या बोलते हैं तिल ऑयल को? ससमी. That is English, बाबा. ससमी ऑयल क्या बोलते हैं? सरसों का तेल. तिल का तेल. अच्छा, it's same as English. Okay, तिल का तेल लगा के मसाज होता है भगवान का हर दिन सवेरे. And then there'll be water, this thing, and they'll put all sorts of. The Lord does not use soap. He uses the bark of a tree. It's vaga. It's a bark of a tree, which I also use. You can buy it. And I use when I take oil bath, I take that. It's called vaga. He uses the bark of it. It's very good for your skin and all that. You'll see that all that will come in the Charnamrit. All the vaga bark. They'll powder the bark and they'll apply and remove the oil. And they'll do abhishek again. Then they'll put chandan. They'll put everything. It's a very beautiful abhishek. If you go round and round, you can keep taking abhishek darshan in the morning. You can see each time oil, next I come water, next you come the vaga. If you're chanting japa in the morning, you can do that sometimes. You want to try it out. For that, you have to get up at 2 o'clock and get ready by 2:30 and go and stand in the queue. And then as the door opens, everybody rushes in. It's free for all. Woo! A whole flood of people go inside. Not many people are there in the morning at 3 o'clock. And you know the reason why. Right? So you can try that. That darshan in the early morning, you can see the Lord fully, without any original deity of the Lord fully, you can see. And there's once a pujari who was newly recruited. There are 8 Nambudri families who worship the Lord. Only licensed and authorized to worship from 8. Nambudris, you know Nambudri means? The word Nambudri means Kerala Brahmins. They'll have their shikha. We all have shikha down, right? All of us, they have their shikha like this in the front. You'll see pictures of here. If you Google Nambudri, you'll see. They'll have their shikha and bundle here on the top like this. It'll be hanging around here or there. The traditional Kerala Brahmins were all descendants from, I told you, Parsham created the whole of Kerala, God's own country. So they are all descendants from him onwards. He installed them to look after the culture and the tradition and all that. So the Nambudri Brahmins are the ones who worship here. Shankaracharya was a Nambudri Brahmin. You know Adi Shankaracharya? He is a Nambudri Brahmin. 32 years only he lived and he travelled to. He instituted the worship here. Shankaracharya instituted the worship here, and that's a very nice leela how he came here. Further, we'll go back to what I said, early morning darshan. There's a small pastime connected with it, and I'm sure you don't want to hear it. No? Okay. The pastime connected with it, I told you, it's a worship of 33 crores of the Devatas. If you go, there's a very beautiful scene in the night. Night is my favorite darshan. I go every night. It's called Siveri. This Lord, his hobby is he likes elephants. So he has got 70 elephants. And he's got a separate yard, elephant yard, the biggest one in the world. The BBC came here to film it once. And I was there. There was an elephant race. Every year there's an elephant race. And the best elephant gets to be the carrier of the Lord. The Lord loves elephants. I'll tell you that story later. Loves elephants, and today you're going to visit a devotee elephant's samadhi. When you enter the temple, you will see his tusks. He was a devotee elephant. There was a movie made of him. It was called Keshavan. He was a complete devotee. You don't have to tell him anything. He knows when is Ekadashi and he will fast on Ekadashi. It's all timed inside. And he will not do all sorts of other services like lumbering, taking wood and all that. Get lost. I only carry the Lord. I'm a devotee. I'm not going to do all those things. I don't do any other type of karma. I do only devotional service. He knew that. There's a huge movie about him. He passed away. I'll tell you that story also. Elephant thing is a special thing here. There's a whole elephant leela about the Lord. We'll talk about it later. This devotee, Pujari, one of the 8 Nambudri families were authorized to worship. He went, are you able to hear me or is the fan? Huh? Zara kam karne gaya. Fan ko zara kam. No, it doesn't have speed. It's very little. Does it have? Off. It's one speed. It's one of those one speed.
Yes, it's okay.
It's okay?
He's just getting the mic.
Yeah, get a mic.
He's getting
This is, I don't know what happened. There's a speaker.
He's getting
I thought we don't want to put the AC, it's fresh air for some time at least. So he went, because he was new and he was want to be super good at his job and everything, he went 15 minutes early inside before, knocked the door and went inside, because he's a male Shanti, it's called the chief priest. He went inside and he saw 33 crores of demigods. Om Sahasrashirsha Purusha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumin Vishpato Vritva Atyadishtad Dashangulam Purushaye Vedakam Sarvam Yad Bhutam Yad Chabhavyam Shrutamritattvaseshana Yadannena Tirohati Purusha Shuktam. You can imagine chatted with 33 crores of people together. What do you call that? 8 track or 15 track or 1000 track. Boom! He heard that and they were all worshipping Gurvayoor. He saw and fell down. He fainted because he could see Indra, Chandra, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, Brahma, Shiva, all of them together at one shot. He just fainted and fell down there, and that morning there was no Nirmali Darshan. People were all waiting. What happened? Kya hua hamara pujari ko? Wo gayab ho gaya andar. There's not opening at all. And then they went inside and found out after 15-20 minutes that he had fainted there. They said, what happened? I saw all of them. So whom did you saw? Saw all the demigods. Why did you go inside early? I said, supposed to go only after this time. He was warned. He did not know. You don't think all these are stories, are real. You don't go inside. And it's a real life story of the Mary Shanti who actually witnessed. So it's a very auspicious darshan to go in the morning. Because it's the time of the demigods. The Lord is worshipped both by the demigods and by the asuras. The asuras know that if I worship the Lord, everything will happen nicely for me. Even my asuric stuff which I want to do, somehow I don't mind worshipping because it happens well. So even the asuras worship. If you go for the Siveli and all that, which occurs 3 times a day, but the night one is more grand because the whole temple gets lit by lamps. It's about some thousands of lamps are lit. You can also go and light the lamps actually. And the 3 elephant procession will come, very royal, and there's a golden deity, 8 kgs gold full of Gurvayoor will come out, and he will ride the elephant. He rides the elephant 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening and night, I think 4 times a day. He will ride because he loves to take a ride on the elephant. It's called Gajarohana. Arohana means moving, Gajarohana means moving on the elephant. It looks very royal on the elephant. They have all this, the elephant get caparisoned. You know caparisoned elephant with a big golden covering on this thing. And there are umbrellas and there are huge conch shells blowing, and there is chamaras, and 3 people sit on the elephant, on each elephant, to glorify the Lord. 3 of those Nambudri family boys sit. One will be holding a huge umbrella, the other 2 will be fan, chamara and the Vyanjana, the peacock fan, they'll be showing. And the conch shells blow each time they do that. On top of the elephant they'll be sitting. It's a scene to watch in the night. I think nowhere in the world they do that type of an offering. Very regal, very royal offering. So that is in the night. So, but this devotee came to know that the Lord is worshipped by all the demigods. Welcome, Hare Krishna. Yeah, there's a seat for you. That the Lord is worshipped by all the demigods and everything together. And the morning you will see they'll do the Abhishekam at that time. So I just wanted to speak about the glories of Nirmali Darshan. A lot of devotees normally go and do that, especially ISKCON devotees who like to go early in the morning. They go around and chant there. When you become tired, you can come back and go to sleep here. There is nothing much to do. You can get to work afterwards. So much for the morning session. And you can see the Lord getting dressed. Everything is done openly, the Abhishekam, this thing, so that everybody can watch. You can go round and round and round and keep watching. That is a brief on the Salapurana and who this deity is and how these different worships are happening. Whole day there is all sorts of worship. You can check that. You will see there in front of the temple also. You go. Today I want to introduce you to 2 great devotees who are associated with the deity here. In all these places you go to Pandharpur. How many of you gone to Pandharpur? No? Udupi. How many gone to Udupi? Very few of you. I think I need to take you for greater tours. Udupi, Srirangam. Wherever the deity is there are devotees associated with the deity. Form of the Lord. Special. If you go to Pandharpur, you will see Tukaram and Purandaradas and all of them are all associated with the deity. Similarly, if you go to Srirangam, you will see Ramanuja and all these great devotees associated with deity. They do leelas. Deity does leelas with them. So here also there are two great devotees. There are many devotees. You'll see all their statues on the big pillars inside the temple. Actually, this temple got burned down about some 70, 80 years back. Caught fire. And hearing that it caught fire, some devotees just left their body. Such close devotees of the Lord, the temple got fire. They died. Many devotees simply died hearing that the temple got fire because they were so attached to the deity. And then it was redone. It was like the olden days traditional structure at the temple. Kerala temples have got a particular architecture. It's not so, don't spend too much money on the shikara and all, and this thing. In South India and other places, in Tamil Nadu, in Andhra and all of them, you find that they do also very colorful looking this thing. Here we're flat, but the temples are very clean. I think in Kerala I see the temples are the most clean. They clean it and everybody will take a bath. One thing about Kerala is everybody take minimum 2 times a day bath will take. Whoever he is, whatever he does, they're clean. The place is very clean and kept very nice, and you will see it's a traditional temple. They have copper plates on top. That's how it's very traditional. So the whole thing is done with copper plating. It's a whole Shilpi and Shastra behind why they do that. There's a Garbhagriha, the central piece. And there is a Ottakal Mandapam, one-piece stone in front of the Lord. Or a one huge piece of stone, that Mandapam is carved. It's all one stone, that Mandapam that you see. In front of the Lord there is a place. So these two devotees who are associated with the Lord, one is called Pundanam, the other one is called Narayana Bhattattiri. Narayana Bhattattiri. What about connecting to those speakers? They don't have anything. Huh?
Charge.
Oh, they no charge. You need this? Is it better? Now you can put on the fan if you want.
No.
Oh, the fan is on. At a low speed. It's got to regulate it. Oh, okay. You want the fan? Some more? Some more of the fan? Or you want to shut off because the sun is up? You want to shut off and put the AC?
This is nice.
It's okay, it's nice. Fine. So where was I? I was speaking about two devotees. One is Pundanam. When you enter, if you enter the temple right from the first cross there, you will see a statue there under a big tree. Manjulal is that place of that junction. In the junction you will see Pundanam, an old man with a walking stick. And with a dhoti tied like this, and you will see his big statue there in the center. Pundanam was a very simple village man, village folk loved him very much because he was a real Bhagavata, a devotee of the highest order who knew and followed everything. There's a seat for you, we have reserved it for you. They knew you're coming. Is there anybody else coming? Is there a seat?
Yes.
If you want, you can sit there. So Pundanam is a nearby village. I think you're going to visit his house. It's a beautiful place. It's called Pundana Illam. Illam means in Kerala, house. Pundana's house. It's a very beautiful place where he was born, and he actually saw Krishna there. Krishna appeared to him there. Did the Leelas for him. Pundanam's story is a very huge story. It's got a lot of things in it. His life is filled with all sorts of things happening. From the worst things of his child passing away right in front of him because of his own mistake and the people's mistake. And to him going to Vaikuntha and the Lord taking him, showing him, this is what is Vaikuntha, this way you should come back. Gave him a rehearsal and put him back here. Pundanam's life consists of all sorts of amazing leelas. I can't speak all of that, but we'll try to say a few things to you. These two characters, Narayana Bhattattiri and Pundanam, you will see. I'll speak first about Narayana Bhattattiri. Narayana Bhattattiri means a class of Nambudris, Brahmins, high order. Amongst the Brahmins also there are classes. So this Bhattattiri class is high class. Narayana Bhattacharya is a great Vedic scholar of the Vedic texts. And his guru, another person called Elthachan, he had rheumatoid arthritis. Rheumatoid arthritis, all bones now. So he learned from him. All great scholars those days, academically and Vedic oriented, cultural oriented, that sort of thing. So he graduated from that guru. So the graduation ceremony normally you give, it's called Samavartana, that period. And you like going away from the Gurukul, you're going away from the studies from the Guru. At that time normally you ask the Guru, what Guru Dakshina can you give? These days you can just say, I'll give you on Google Pay, I'll give you on this thing and just transfer it. That's not really the meaning of Guru Dakshina, does not mean only money. Because those days currencies were not prevalent. So what is Guru Dakshina then? Guru Dakshina means, I want to give you something in return. Right? There were no fees, education was always free, everywhere. Food was free, education was free. You don't have to pay for it, you don't have to work for it, you don't have to do any of those things. So, but in gratitude for genuinely having upgraded myself with the knowledge you have given me, out of gratitude, I want to offer something to you. So he asked what I would give you. Then immediately the Guru took opportunity and he said to him, "You're suffering with this disease so much, just want to be relieved. Why don't you accept this disease?" And what a Guru Dakshina, amazing Guru Dakshina. He said, "Okay, if you say so." Then he accepted the disease and he became free. But as he was suffering, he asked his Guru, "How can I get rid of this disease? Because you're my Guru, you must tell me that also." Then he said, "Yes, I knew you will ask me this. If you describe the Lord's wonderful activities given in the Bhagavad, starting from Matsya, starting from him becoming a fish incarnation, and if you just describe in front of him, he will be very pleased, and this is nothing for him. He loves his devotees. He'll relieve you of this." And truly Narayana Bhattacharya said, "So be it." And he came in front of the Lord. If you go into the temple, as you go inside the queue, on the left you will see a big brass plaque saying, "Here Narayana Bhattacharya sat down and composed the Narayana." You will see that brass plaque as you enter on the left. So he sat there with his rheumatoid arthritis and he wrote. He was a great scholar, and Bhagavat is the biggest compendium of all the wonderful Leelas of Krishna. So he described the Leelas of Krishna there and composed in beautiful Sanskrit as a poem, poetically, very nicely he composed it. And then every time he composed a verse, he would say, "Was it not like this? You did?" And the Lord will say, "Yeah, I did that." And he will confirm it. So everything he wrote was a confirmation given by the Lord. The Lord, the form of the Lord here is that he's standing like this. He's dressed in a nice small kaupin on his waist and jewels on his waist like this. And then a peacock feather and a flute in his hand. And he's holding butter in his hand like this. In the left hand he's got a flute like that. That's how it is his original form. You can see that it'll be all over the place. When he gets decorated, it's different in four-handed form also. So mostly they put him as Krishna in two-handed form only. They get covered with chandan. They grind a special thing called kalabam. It is made of sandalwood, aguru, and it's made out of camphor and saffron and all sorts of things. It's a highly cooling paste. You can get that as prasadam. They give you in a small thing. The moment you apply a little bit here, you can feel that it's so cool. So in summer, the whole Lord is encaged in that. And then there, they will dress him up with that engagement of that kalabam. There he'll be like two-handed form with a flute in his hand and butter in his hand like that. So every time Narayana Bhattacharya composed, the Lord came in that form with a red kaupin. You can get the kaupin also as prasad. It'll be a red triangular this thing tied around his. He came like that and he said, yeah, I was very excited that my pastimes have been composed by you. He said, yeah. And then he every time got confirmation for the thing that he did. Sometimes he got a correction. He asked the Lord, did you actually break the butter pot with a stick or a stone? Because I see different things mentioned. Is it stick also, stone also? Both I used. Many times I used. He said that, he confirmed. Then when he was writing the Rama Leela, then he described that, so did you not go and take Sita and leave her in the forest next to Valmiki Ashram and you came back? He said, no, that is wrong. It's wrong information. And he said, why? Only Ramachandra did that. I never do that. He distinguished himself from Rama. He said, it's Rama who does it, not me. And then he became very surprised, and he wrote that he never abandons his devotees like that. So he came and he told them, he said, as Narsimha, I can't imagine how you came as Narsimha. That's a completely different form. You look so beautiful. How did you become Narsimha? I'll show you. He assumed the Narsimha form for him in front, and he assumed it like this, he told him. He saw the form and was really afraid and he wrote. So if you go to the temple, you will see on the top is a Narsimha, huge painting. I think they removed it recently for repair work or something. You will see that looming above. Because he saw the Lord as Narsimha. In this way, he composed the Narayana. So you can imagine gradually he became cured of his rheumatoid arthritis. He became fully cured. By the time he had fully written that whole huge compendium, it was called Narayaniam. It is very famous. In the morning you go, that's the first thing they put. It starts Agre Pashyami. I see in front of me the Lord. He describes the Lord. So, in this way he became very famous. Narayana Mittatri became a very famous person. A person who has seen the Lord and got his whole works confirmed by him. Imagine what a devotee he is, scholar, devotee. Plus he gets his whole work confirmed and the Lord says, yeah, and corrects him and everything. Would he become famous? He will become very famous. And what happens to you when you become famous? Huh? Devotees don't get proud. Isn't it? How can devotees be proud? Have you seen devotees who are proud? Of course. Of course. All the demigods are devotees. They don't get proud sometimes. Of course, we hear stories. Narayana Bhattatri got a little subtly proud. So much so that he himself did not know he was getting proud. So every day he started speaking the Narayaniam. And huge crowds of people used to come and watch him speak. A composition that is verified and confirmed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? Isn't it very interesting? Wow. Then what happened? I'll take you to I'll stop here, take you to the other devotee called Pundana. This is a simple person. But he's a devotee. He would walk and come all the way, every week or something he would come to see the Lord. His house from here is about 2 hours away. So he would come and he would worship the Lord. And he was such a popular speaker. He would speak the Bhagavat in a local language, in a dialect. And the huge crowds of people will assemble to hear him. He speak in very simple terms. And he gave them all these nice examples in everyday life. And he's a real Bhagavata devotee. He speaks from his heart with love for Krishna. And so when he would speak, people would relate very nicely. And they were so happy hearing him. He is a natural devotee. He didn't do any great education this way, that way and all that. Does not know some great Sanskrit and all that. But he is a devotee, genuinely. So he would come to the temple. And he would start chanting the Vishnu Sahasranama in front of the Lord. And of course, he has heard about Narayana Bhattatri and his pastime with the Lord and how great he is. So, one day he was chanting the Vishnu Sahasranama. And Vishnu Sahasranama, there is a name of Vishnu called Narayana Amara Prabhu. Amara means the Devatas, the Lord of the demigods, the Devatas, Narayana Amara Prabhu. But he is not a very great Sanskrit scholar or anything. So he chanted Narayana Mara Prabhu. Mara means tree. He chanted Narayana Mara Prabhu. And Narayana Bhattatri was standing there also offering his prayers. Confirmed what I'm saying is true. Narayana Bhattatri was also standing there. And he said, "Stop it!" Immediately he said, "It's not the way to chant." Narayana became very scared because he's such a great authority. The Lord has seen him, confirmed his work. He said, "I'm very sorry." He said, "Do you know what you said now? You said Narayana Mara Prabhu. It is Narayana Amara Prabhu, the Lord of the demigods, the Devatas. Mara means tree. You think the Lord is the Lord of the trees?" He raised his voice. Instantly from inside the altar came a booming voice. "Who else is the Lord of the trees? I am also the Lord of the trees." And the Lord appeared there as a huge tree and they spoke, "I am Narayana Mara Prabhu." Spoke. Came as a tree and the tree moved his mouth and said, "I am Narayana Mara Prabhu. Who else is the Lord of the trees?" Narayana Bhattatri got shocked. Pundana got even more shocked. What else form? The Lord came as a huge tree with all branches and leaves like that and spoke, "Who else is the Lord of the trees? I am the Lord of the trees." That was one lesson. We got a message. Narayana Bhattatri got a message that it's not important. Devotion is more important than getting the pronunciation right. But he didn't catch it. Narayana Bhattatri didn't catch it yet. He said, "Okay, something happened. Okay, I'm sorry." And he went ahead lecturing on this thing. Again, Pundana wrote a very simple summary of the whole Bhagavad, fit for any common man to understand. Beautiful verse form, in poetic form, in simple language, a dialect of the Malayalam language. Very beautifully composed. In the morning they'll sing that also. It starts with Krishna Krishna Mukunda Janardana Krishna Govinda Narayana Hari Achyutananda Govinda Madhava Acchidananda Narayana Hari. It just starts with Krishna's names, the first verse, saying that these wonderful names of you, they should not be separated from my tongue. I pray to you that don't separate these names from my tongue. I should always be chanting them and relishing your holy name. So the whole Jnanapana starts. And then he will start describing Bhagavad Gita's key, Bhagavad, and beautiful realizations of life in this world, and how you should be a devotee, you should chant, you should serve the Lord. All these beautiful, nicely written. He wrote it with great love and devotion. But he thought, I should get it confirmed by Narayana Bhattatri, because he is the one who's written, and he got it confirmed by the Lord. So if he says this is good, Krishna has accepted it. Nice feeling, right? I get to my senior devotee and ask him. So he went on one of those days when Narayana Bhattatri was standing in front of him, chanting and worshipping the Lord. He made a small petition. "Excuse me, my dear Narayana Bhattatri," excuse me, he's trying to catch his attention. So Narayana Bhattatri, very tall gentleman, very stately looking Brahmana. He just looked at him like that. Just gave him a condescending look. "Yeah, what do you want?" "I have composed this about the Lord from the Bhagavad, from this thing. If you can approve it, then I will, distribute this to others and speak about it to others." Narayana Pandit didn't move a finger. He has to visit in Sanskrit. For which he didn't reply. He said, "Oh, it's not in Sanskrit." He didn't reply. So Narayana Pandit didn't even locate him for a second time. He just walked away. I don't look at it. If it's not in Sanskrit, I don't even look at it. Because you don't have that scholarship, if you don't have that knowledge, what can you write anyway? I mean, I am Narayana Pandit. I've written the Narayaniam. The Lord has approved. It's not even in Sanskrit. Forget it. That was his mood. He just walked away and Pundanam completely broke down. His heart broke. Oh my gosh, I am not a devotee. I am a useless devotee. Although I have composed these things, they are not acceptable. Because I am not of a proper scholarship and birth. So he became very, very broken and sad. And he went quietly home and slept there and kept chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I am so low, my Lord. I wish I would become a pure devotee like Narayana Pandit, and then I will be able to write. He was feeling very bad. But you know when the devotee feels bad, Krishna feels even more bad. It's very affected. My devotee is sad because he is rejected. But his work is so beautiful, full of love and devotion. But what to do? He has set the condition that it has to come through Narayana Pandit. You could have offered it to me directly, but he set the condition. So I have to, get it through Narayana Pandit. And Narayana Pandit has become proud. So what can I do? I have to do what I'm supposed to do. My devotee should not get proud. So there's several instances like this happened. But he was giving his lectures in the evening and thousands of people were coming to hear him. Why? He has seen the Lord, he has composed this with the approval of the Lord. So he was speaking. And that day he finished speaking. And he normally asks, is there anybody want to comment anything or ask a question? Nobody would. But today, there's a small boy, younger than him, sitting with a bare body and a small dhoti tied up like this. and a nice punal, we call it, yajnopavitam, sitting in the front like this. He got up and said, I have a question. Everybody laughed. What question can a small boy have? Less than 5 years old. And he said, yes, please tell my dear boy. He spoke in Malayalam and said, sure, I'll answer you. So cute and so let's answer you. You know what the boy did? He said, the shloka you today examined these 4 shlokas, out of them I want to quote the second shloka he read. He recited it by heart. Nobody dared even mug it up, it's so difficult. He recited the shloka by heart and said, actually the sandhi in this is wrong. Actually this is grammatically wrong. But if you join 2 sentences like this cannot be joined like this. And this is wrong. The meaning of this changes like this if you say this. He started criticizing in a complete literary critic on that verse. And this Narayana Pandit became very surprised because he's a very learned man. He said, you're right. That thing is wrong. Actually, this is wrong. But he didn't say anything publicly. He said, oh, small boy, but And he just shut him up and he went back that day quickly and checked the scene and said, my gosh, it is wrong. How did this composition come out of me? But it is checked by the Lord. It cannot be wrong. But why is it wrong? And then he was thinking, what is happening? Right? He got really disturbed. The Lord is just throwing the spanner in the works. In his works. And he became very disturbed. He went back the evening again to give the session. He was looking for that kid. Couldn't see him anywhere. Course was very clear. He spoke again. He speaks beautifully. Everybody is rapt in attention and listening to him and all that. And then he looked around again after getting over. There was no kid. Then he said, do you have any questions or comment? Boom, the kid came again. As soon as he said it, I have a question. And this time he became serious. So what's your question? He was not so welcoming like yesterday. So what's your question?
Today the third shloka you said, it is like this, it is like this is a mistake in there, this is not the meaning, this is wrong in front of everybody. He said, shut up, he said to him, and just left with the book in his armpit, and he ran inside the temple. And then he started screaming at the deity and said, you cannot do this to me. It's you who is doing it. I know. You can't do this to me. You're insulting me in front of everybody. And he started crying to the Lord. And he just sobbing. Why would you do this to me? I am your devotee. I love you. And he said all sorts of things he wanted to do. There was no reply for a long time. And he was sobbing and sitting there and completely fried out. And he knew that what that boy said is correct. It is discrepancy in his works. But he was always thinking the Lord has checked, nobody will dare correct it or even say it. So he knew, he was a very intelligent man, so he knew it's only you who can find a mistake. So it must be you, you are only doing this. Then the Lord told him very nicely, my dear Narayana Bhattacharya, my dear devotee, do not be disturbed. But I want to tell you that it's not so important. Your Sanskrit and grammar and your education is not so important as much as devotion is important. Looks like you lost it somewhere after you wrote your work. So you use the word. To me, vibhakti is not so important as bhakti. In Malayalam language, they'll say that. He told vibhakti means all the Sanskrit grammar and sandhi and this and everything. He said, for me, vibhakti is not so important as bhakti. Because I accepted your bhakti, not your composition. The composition is riddled with a lot of stuff like this. I didn't accept your composition, I accepted your devotion coming through the composition. And similarly, Tumdanam, whom you rejected, is very dear to me. His composition is filled with love. It has got no such complications and problems like Sanskrit and grammar and all that, because he is written in simple local language. And it's very pure. It's filled with devotion for me. And you rejected it. I think you're getting a little proud. You must be very careful. I want my devotees, don't get proud. Right? He said that in his spirit. So Narayana Bhattacharya realized, my gosh, what have I done? What's happening to me? You see, many times even in our devotional services, we start chanting Hare Krishna, we start to sing. Slowly, we sort of normalize things. Our chanting, everything merges into our regular material life. Becomes one of those activities. It's normalized. You ever heard in management about the boiling of the frog? Some of you who are having companies and working, they'll tell you about the famous example of boiling the frog. If you put a frog in boiling hot water, it'll immediately jump out. Because it's hot. But if you put the frog in the water and slowly heat it up from underneath, it will not jump out. It will just, it's getting warm, so nice. It'll get warmer and warmer and warmer and finally get cooked and die. Why? It doesn't know that it's on fire. Slowly it's happening. It's happening very slowly, slowly, and so systematically that it kills the frog. And the frog doesn't know it's happening. So many times, slowly and steadily, we are being attacked by Maya within our normalized Krishna consciousness. And we don't know it. Narayana Bhattacharya had slowly become proud, and he did not know about it. He was getting cooked slowly on low fire by Maya. And although he met the Lord, doesn't mean he's above board. The material world can attack you anytime. Bharata Maharaja fell down from the Baba platform. So, Narayana Bhattacharya was warned by the Lord, watch out, you're getting stuck. So, Narayana Bhattacharya said was very intelligent. He immediately turned around and went looking for Pundanam. He said, where is that Pundanam? He's a much greater devotee than me. Now what a fool fool. I thought I'm a great devotee. Right? So he looked for Pundanam. And Pundanam came to know Narayana Bhattacharya looking for him. He said, oh my gosh, what did I do wrong again? He was finished. Such a great devotee is after me. I must have done something wrong. So he didn't come for darshan for two sessions also. He may catch me again. I am such a low class person. I'm a low class devotee. My composition is so low. I have no devotion for Krishna. That is his thinking. A devotee is really like that. He thinks very lowly about himself. And he's safe because of that. He's safe. Humility is the hallmark of a devotee. In Vrindavan they tell you, Radhe Radhe bolo, chote ban ke raho. Don't try to be big. Radhe Radhe bolo, chote ban ke raho. Continue to be small. And the more you become devotionally advanced, the more smaller you will feel. Pundanam was such a devotee. And Narayana Bhattacharya was trying to chase him and said, there he is, and he ran to him. He said, Pundanam Saradhani. Oh my gosh. Yes. He was said, no, wait, I want to talk to you. He said, no, what did I do wrong? He started running. And he overcame and caught hold of him and said, wait. And he started crying. You don't know who you are. You don't know how dear you are to Gurvayoor. Me? I am useless. No, I want to pay namaskaram to you. And he held his feet. He said, don't go from here. I want to, first you must forgive me. I did not pay proper respect to you. I did not do this. And the Lord told me all these things. And he heard that Pundanam started crying. He sat down there. My God, did he say this about me? Now I am going to get proud. And he said, so they both hugged each other and they became very good friends. We should collect each other. We should be together and we should worship the Lord. In this way, these two devotees were brought together. And it was a great event when Pundanam's work was recognized by Narayana Bhattacharya. He became very famous after that. It's called Jnana Pana. Pana means container. Jnana Pana means container of knowledge. And he put the essence of the Bhagavad and Bhagavad Gita in it. So the PPT is now translating it and putting a Bhaktivinod Swami commentary on it. Very beautiful. It's all Bhagavad and everything. This way Pundanam became known, glorified by Narayana Bhattacharya to the rest of the world. And this way you will see that these devotees' songs are sung in the temple and they are glorified. Our method of getting to Krishna is through the devotees. It's always mentioned that we must be humbly oriented towards the devotees. I'm going to stop here because it is 1 hour and we need to take breakfast. Some of your eyelids are already laying a few tongues and you may have not got full sleep yesterday. But you need to take prasadam now, and then I think you need to go for darshan because today is a weekday, maybe you'll have less crowd. Go for darshan. In the afternoon or some other time in the evening before you go. Today, with this background, you can go to meet. You can see a beautiful art form done by an artist in terracotta of this Narayana Maraprabhu. He has created the whole art right next to the temple on the south Nada. If you go down, you will see this. And you also see the famous elephant Keshavan's Samadhi. And there's a huge Keshavan's statue there, the elephant on top of the Samadhi. Both of them are next to each other. People go and pay respects there to Keshavan and to Narayana Maraprabhu. You can go around at Narayana Maraprabhu and see the Keshavan Samadhi also. After you take darshan of the Lord. It's just a walk from there towards the south end. If you go, you will see this thing. So I thought I'll tell you that background now. I think in the afternoon we're going to also the elephant place.
Yeah, that's what he said. Sri Ram said.
Sri Ram said.
Yeah.
So you can go to the elephant place and come back and I'll tell you the elephant story of the Lord. And also tell you something. Are you going to Kulashekara Alvar's birthplace?
Not sure, but he hasn't told me.
It's not written at all.
Yeah, but we can speak to him.
No, it is I think close to, I was telling him yesterday because you're going somewhere other places.
Okay.
You go to Tripurayar is a very famous Rama temple.
Okay.
It's one of the Divya Kshetras.
Okay.
It's a very ancient Rama temple. Rama, Lakshmana, Shatrughna and
Bharata. All these 4 Vigrahas came after Dwaraka went in.
Right.
Similarly, they came here and they were installed. And you won't find, have you ever seen a Bharata temple, Lakshmana temple, and this thing? Only in Kerala you will see. They are called Nalambala Darshanam. During the Ramayana month, which comes in August something, everybody makes a full darshan of all these 4 temples in one shot. It'll take more than half a day. It'll take almost to go to all these places. But one of them is the Rama temple, which is only 28 kilometers from here.
Right.
And from there, I think you can go to Kodungalur, where Kulashekara Alvar was born.
Okay, Maharaj.
He's from Kerala. Kulashekara.
Okay, yes, Maharaj.
He's a Chera dynasty.
Right.
You may, I just want to tell you. So
Yeah.
the afternoon or tomorrow I'll tell you about the Chera Kulashekara Alvar a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can also see his birthplace.
Yes, Maharaj.
It'll be nice. There is Kulashekarapuram,
Right.
and there's a beautiful temple of Kulashekara there, where he was
Right.
born. And there are Sri Vaishnavas from Tamil Nadu worshipping there.
Okay, Maharaj.
Yeah.
So we'll figure out the itinerary because we have time.
I forgot to tell him, he asked me yesterday, but
Okay.
I was busy with something else. But maybe you can go to Tripuraya.
Okay.
This Ramakshetra is very beautiful. With
Okay.
a big, huge pond.
We'll definitely
It's a
go.
very ancient Rama temple. The original deity that came
Yeah.
floating.
Yes, Maharaj.
So you can see that Rama temple, and then you can see Kulashekara Alvar's birthplace.
Yes,
He
You
ruled
figure-
all of Travancore.
We'll figure out the timetable and
Incidentally, yeah.
We'll do that.
You may be able to go there.
Okay.
A little distance.
we'll also try to go to Pundanam's house. also.
Kundana Illam, if you go, it is very
Yeah,
nice.
it's nice, yeah.
It's a beautiful place. It's preserved well by the Devasum board
Okay.
in a big place.
Yes.
His house is there, and the place where he got darshan both is there.
Okay.
Right opposite each other.
Okay.
Separated by a road.
Yeah.
It's a little out in the outskirts, but you get to see the interiors of Kerala,
Kerala,
the
yeah.
rustic village place and all that.
Yeah.
Very green and very nice.
Yeah.
And we like it.
Yeah.
Jai Ho! Shall we go and take prasad?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. I might do kirtan with you, but I think we'll do that in the afternoon. Can we take prasad?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Nice to see you. Hare Ho.
It's always nice when we start the day where we don't feel warm here first. We feel warm here first. So today is a day where we're feeling warm in the heart, and we thank Maharaja for that. Maharaja, as I said, is giving us his dedicated time, and we thank him for that by saying loud Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,